Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me on this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe television. Our top stories tonight. Rights defenders have condemned what they describe as unlawful maneuvers aimed at disqualifying Professor Maurice Kamto from the upcoming presidential elections scheduled for October 12. The reaction follows the Ministry of Territorial Administration's removal of Anise Ekane's name as president of Manidem Party from its website, replacing him with his rival Judene Yagua. And away from that, Yagua flood victims resettled in Uro Daban are struggling to survive amidst broken promises, despite the Minister Ferdinand Gongo's assurances. The site rehabilitation remains stalled. Harsh weather conditions have further exacerbated their plight. Those are our top stories tonight. Stay with us for the news in full. Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe television. For presentation, I am Immaculate Fogwe. Multiple attempts to disqualify the candidacy of Professor Maurice Kamto from the 2025 presidential election in Cameroon has been denounced by some CPDM party militants and civil society actors in Cameroon. A former member of the CPDM party's Central Committee says attempts to block Kamto's candidacy are politically motivated and undermines the rule of law. A view upheld by civil society actors who say Professor Maurice Kamto is being feared because of his charisma, popularity, intelligence, and experience, as Fomi Amstrong-Sanda tells us.
A CPDM party militant, Professor Mesanga Nyamding is one of the many Cameroonians who see the objections raised against Maurice Kamto's candidacy as witch hunting and politically motivated. On his official Facebook page, Nyamding cites examples of past instances where politicians have switched parties without facing similar challenges, concluding that attempts to disqualify Kamto's Manidem candidacy undermines the rule of law and translate to the fear of Kamto, baptized as Kamtophobia in Cameroon. Like Mesanga Nyamding, Dr. Busi Niba sees charisma, intelligence, and experience as the main causes of the fear of Kamto by the CPDM party regime and some political actors in Cameroon.
The Kamtophobia is a serious issue. Kamto is a big name. Kamto is a personality. He's a strong figure. He's an intelligent person. I think that he has a strong folk and many followers. That's why Kamtophobia is an issue with many political followers. I think that the issue is a serious issue even with the CPDM party that is seeing into it that Kamto, they stop Kamto from the presidential election. He has a lot of followers, political followers, and the fear is because of his political followers. We can see in 2018 what happened in Douala, where the mammoth crowd came out and where he said he scored a goal.
He further regrets the hate speech and hate language involved in this.
What a living lawyer said on TV is not correct. You cannot say it's hate speech, it's xenophobia, it's not correct. You cannot say you dislike somebody, you hate somebody. I want to say that Kamto is a personality that understands the political dynamics of Cameroon. Kamto has worked in the government of Cameroon. Kamto has been a diplomat. He has been a professor of law.
Dr. Busi Niba, however, believes that Biya remains stronger faced with individual opposition political leaders in Cameroon. He thinks a united opposition presents better chances of winning come October 12, 2025.
In the same vein, the legal effects and possible implications of the controversial overnight tampering on the website of the Ministry of Territorial Administration in Cameroon has been addressed by Legal Mind in Douala. Barrister Mustafa Ngwana, in this report done by Fomi Amstrong-Sanda, provides expert analysis on the legal consequences of such an act. His report.
The apparent purge in the shadows of the overnight alteration on the website of the Ministry of Territorial Administration in Cameroon involves the removal and replacement of the long-standing president of the Manidem political party, Anise Ekane, with Judene Yagua. This controversial move has led many Cameroonians to speculate about Professor Maurice Kamto's candidacy fate. However, a legal expert in Douala explains that the website tampering has no impact on Kamto's bid.
In 2018, an order was taken by the Minister of Territorial Administration designating the different president of some political parties. People say it was Bapolipo, Manidem was Mr. Ekane, and for CPP, it was Chitafon. Mrs. Kawala and Mr. Balegan, they initiated legal proceedings. After the legal proceedings, those decisions were cancelled. But unfortunately, Mr. Yagua did not initiate any court action. That means the said decision today is binding against him, has its total value. When you read the law organizing administrative court in Cameroon, that means law number 2006/022, in section 17, it is clearly stated that when an administrative order calls a grievances to you, you have 3 months to attack the said decision. Unfortunately, Mr. Yagua has never attacked the said decision. But it's the fact that he did not act, now he is forfeited. He cannot more initiate any action against the said decision.
Barrister Mustafa Ngwana says the immediate legal effect will still be nulled if the minister came back to his administrative decision of 2018.
It cannot affect the country because the effect of the law is for the future.
Barrister Mustafa further indicates that the law of 2010 on cyber criminality can also be engaged in the sudden cyber changes.
You cannot manipulate the website to mislead people.
He further highlights that the legality and legitimacy of Anise Ekane at the helm of the Manidem political party is not determined by the website, but by administratively filed decisions and documents like that which was used in investing Councillor Ebanda Songe in 2019 as the municipal councillor runner in the Dibombari Council under the banner of the Manidem political party.
Still on our political page, Stand Up for Cameroon movement led by Edith Kabangwala raises concerns over alleged political manipulation by Minister of Territorial Administration in the joint conference with UPC and Manidem political parties. The president of the CPP party highlights several loopholes of the electoral system that undermines the prospect of free and fair elections. Annabella Luque reports.
Ministry of Territorial Administration and Decentralization reportedly updates or adjusts the site. Cameroonians and even political actors say that was an unpleasant surprise. Edith Kawala of Stand Up for Cameroon expresses dismay and criticizes what she describes as political manipulation.
To a Minat website where the president of a political party, notably Manidem, had changed overnight on the website. Minat has been doing this for years. We here, the main parties in Stand Up for Cameroon, UPC, Manidem, CPP, we are victims of Minat manipulation. It is unacceptable. Minat cannot threaten us. A minister paid, whose salary is paid by our taxes, cannot come to the public and be threatening us, violating our political rights, manipulating political...
The electoral system, according to Edith Kawala, must be redone. Names of deceased persons and minors are present on the electoral list on the Elecam side few months to the presidential election in Cameroon. These and other irregularities have been decried by Stand Up for Cameroon.
We are going to be carrying out actions to demand that Elecam publish the list and give us transparency on this list. We are going to be carrying out actions to demand that Minat stops with the violations of the fundamental rights of Cameroonians and the manipulation of political parties in this country. We are going to be carrying out actions to demand that the Constitutional Council do its job as prescribed by law and be a true referee for the elections as it is supposed to do.
They think there can't be any transparent election in Cameroon with the present electoral dispensation. Cameroonians, according to her, can only emerge victorious by a non-violent protest. She calls on them to dress in black on Fridays and say no to the political manipulation going on at the moment in Cameroon.
We are saying, let's start from tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday in black. As Cameroonians, you know the Friday in Black, it is our protest action.
Edith Kawala plus the president of UPC Manidem joined their voices to denounce what they qualify as the gross violation of rights of Cameroonians by some regime bigwigs at every level.
The mayor of Tuboro, an official of the National Union for Democracy and Progress, says 43 years of suffering under the Bia's regime is enough. He adds that it's time for change, it's time to correct the errors of the past and move forward to a better nation. Speaking over Equinoxe television, Mayor Celestine Yandal began by highlighting the volatile security in the Diamari division, as Babila Jonathan tells us.
The Mayure division in the north region of Cameroon remains a red zone.
Le département du Mayure en général est qualifié d'une zone rouge.
The mayor of Tuboro, Celestine Yandal, tells La Vérité en Face that insecurity is a permanent threat in his municipality and the rest of the Mayure division.
Nous ne sommes pas sortis de cette zone rouge malgré les efforts que
we have not come out of the red zone despite the laudable effort of defense and security forces.
Aujourd'hui,
today, we can say that the situation has improved, but we are still in the red zone.
Mais nous sommes toujours dans la zone rouge.
About underdevelopment challenges in the area, Mayor Celestine Yandal says much has been done by the council, but failure by governments to effectively implement the law on decentralization by dispersing funds in time to local councils is a major hindrance to development.
Nous sommes au 3e trimestre, mais nous n'avons pas encore reçu les centimes additionnels.
In politics, the official of the National Union for Democracy and Progress, NUDP, confirms the resignation of the party's national president and presidential candidate, Bello Buba Maigari, from government.
Le ministre d'État, Maigari Bello Buba, a démissionné.
According to him, Bello Buba Maigari, despite his decades of collaboration with the Bia regime, is the man who can change the poor situation of Cameroon and Cameroonians. Mayor Yandal justifies Bello Buba's 3-decade collaboration with the ruling Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, CPDM, with loyalty to an ally he qualifies as unfaithful. An ally he accuses of having brought the nation to its knees via corruption, embezzlement and mismanagement of public funds and other issues.
Should loyalty take preeminence over the interest of the nation? Should you continue to be loyal when Cameroonians are perishing, dying in poverty, misery, hardship, and the nation is crumbling? Should you continue to be loyal for this long?
Mieux vaut tard que jamais.
In response to calls on the opposition to unite in a common front to unseat the Bia regime, he procrastinates and casts doubt on the feasibility of any initiative to unite the opposition.
Are you ready in the NUDP to support someone else other than Bello Buba Maigari?
Non. Nous allons pour gagner.
He believes in the power of the NUDP to bring about the change Cameroonians are hoping for.
Le souhait de tous les Camerounais, c'est le changement.
Still on news connected to the presidential race, following the closure of the candidacy submission period on July 21st at midnight, Elections Cameroon has commenced a review of the 82 candidatures received from presidential aspirants. Innocent Azeb provides an overview of the subsequent steps in the electoral process. His report.
Cameroon has begun examining the 82 candidacies of presidential hopefuls after the Monday, July 21st midnight deadline to submit candidacy files. The elections organizing body has between the 22nd and 26th to verify the authenticity, eligibility, and competencies of each file in collaboration with national administrative and legal bodies. By late July, all candidacies are expected to have been forwarded to the Constitutional Council, which is the sole authority to validate, publish, and make legal resolution.
From there, a provisional list is published with disqualified aspirants able to appeal the decision within 48 hours. The Constitutional Council will decide on their fate within 5 days before moving to the publication of the final list of approved candidates no later than 13 August 2025. Campaign is expected to be launched officially and to run from September 27th to October 11, 2025. It is expected to end at midnight before Election Day. The elections organizing body, Electoral, is in charge of printing ballots, deploying materials, and organize civic education nationwide before polls open on October 12.
Away from politics, Cameroonian consumers are sounding the alarm over skyrocketing prices of staple foods like plantains, cocoyams and sweet potatoes, making it tough for many to afford 3 square meals a day. With the situation getting out of control, consumers and traders are joining forces to demand government intervention. Our reporter, A.C. Lucilengu, visited the Nous, détenons market and came up with this report for the 6 p.m. news.
Prices of basic foodstuffs continue to skyrocket across markets in Cameroon despite economic hardship. Consumers at the Nous, détenons market expressed frustration over the hike in prices of plantains, cocoyams and sweet potatoes.
Everything, water leaf, everything, plantains, you cannot even touch the plantains. Things like plantains, cocoyam, you cannot even, it's for rich people now.
A man who came to buy explains that when he sends his partner to the market, it's usually complicated, so he decided to come by himself. Funny enough, he came with 10,000 francs CFA. Unfortunately for him, he was unable to buy all what he needed due to the high cost. Before now, a bunch of plantain which used to cost 1,500 francs now cost 3,000 francs and more, while 4 fingers of plantain, depending on the size, are sold for 500 francs and more.
Somebody like me, I cannot go that where they are selling plantains, because you look for a bunch of plantains, they will tell you 5,000. Small bunch like this, not even big. So poor people cannot survive in our country.
With these, families now struggle to eat 3 square meals a day.
Le macabo est trop cher parce que la quantité que nous en avons sur le marché, c'est très petit.
Aside of cocoyams, which is considered a luxury for many, a cup of rice that used to cost 125 or 150 francs is now sold at 250 francs. Also, traders who sell euro face the same challenge.
Aujourd'hui, on se retrouve avec une botte de tête d'euro à 2000.
With the increase in prices, sellers point to the poor state of farm-to-market roads, indicating that demand is greater than supply.
Nous voulons qu'on nous aide à percer les routes pour que la nourriture entre un peu en abondance alors.
Wholesalers and retailers are calling on those in power to ameliorate the situation as transportation fares have also increased.
That report on the rise in the prices of basic commodities done by A.C. Lucilengu ends this first part of the news. Cameroon Today comes up next. The flood victims of Yagua, who were settled at Deban, say they have been neglected by the government of Cameroon. During the recent visit of Ferdinand Gongo at the settlement site, he promised that the site will be rehabilitated. But as it stands, the victims are living in precarious conditions with the tents that were erected already destroyed by strong winds. The announcement of poor climatic conditions with intense rains has made things even worse for these flood victims whose numbers keeps increasing. Smart Gable tells us more about the difficult challenge faced by these people living in this part of Cameroon.
From the aerial view, the settlement site at Dabang, situated at the entrance of Yagua, seems to be normal, but getting close to the site, it's a different picture. that we see, the September and October 2024 flood victims are now in a very disturbing condition, and it seems another incident is about to happen as the victims are facing challenges. We are just managing like this. We sleep in this room as you see it. We have nowhere else to go. For us to eat, we go to the farm in search of firewood to sell in the market. The other women go to the market to sell, and in the evening we all meet here. We sleep outside since it's very hot inside. We lost everything during the floods. Some have died. Since a majority of the tents that gave shelter to some of the flood victims have been destroyed by strong winds to the point that they are almost falling off, the flood victims are now hopeless. It's almost 9 months now. Life here is very difficult. We have nothing to eat. Our wives go in search of firewood to sell before we eat. The tents are all torn, and when there is rain, we are all soaked. And every after rain falls, there is a terrible wind which roots out the tent, and we are forced to run somewhere to get shelter. It's very difficult for us. Women, men, as well as children are now in an uncomfortable situation after they lost all of their properties some 9 months ago. It's with the help of some little income generating activities that they put food on their table, which is not regular. I put to bed on December 3rd and we arrived here in September. The newborn is okay, but sometimes suffers from flu. When it happens, I take her to the hospital for injections. The child's father is the one paying the bills whenever the child is sick. We have sickness here, particularly malaria, that attacks the children, women, as well as the men. We don't have enough money for treatment. Reasons we are forced to buy roadside drugs. On February 15, 2025, the Secretary General at the Presidency of the Republic, while on a visit at the Uru Dabang settlement site, promised that the situation will be ameliorated. Ferdinand Gongo said in the nearest future, rehabilitation works will be done at the site for a better living condition. They promised coming back when they came here, and that they are searching for other means, and that is the reason we are still here. We don't know if they will keep to their words, so we are still waiting. What we need is a better space for shelter. We've lost enough. It was as a result of the overflow witnessed by River Logon and other little entries that water took the entire Yagua town hostage between September and October 2024, causing the death of many and destruction of properties. The weather forecast this year has also announced heavy rains. The victims, whose number has increased within time, are now completely perplexed as they no longer know who to call for help.
That element on the challenges faced by flood victims in Yagua ends this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe television. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your keen attention. Stay in the company of important programs on Equinoxe television. Bye-bye for now.